Kia ora, I'm Johnny Bear from the Wellbeing Foundation. Hey, thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule. Now, this is an important issue that's happening in New Zealand. So, want to talk to you a little bit about the why we've started up the Check Your Mate program and what is all behind it. Our motivation, especially those of us that are working with youth, I mean, the statistics are showing 25% of New Zealand youth are self-harming. So that's a quarter of your school is self-harming. You know, of those 25%, 75% of them don't know where or how to seek help. Then we have 2 out of 3 teachers who say that they don't know what to say to them. We've got 50% of GPs who don't understand the motivation or the whole what's happening with the youth that are self-harming. Then we've also got a third of parents who are not seeking help. So as the government's starting to put some focus in, so is the Wellbeing Foundation. It's time to speak to the elephant in the room. And through this program, we're not looking at targeting, or specifically with this program, targeting that 25% self-harm group. It's also looking at the 75% of the students who are friends or are mates who are seeing this going on. So this is more targeted at the friends and how to check in on your mate. So one of the things that we'll look at is, because it's such a sensitive subject, is looking at the protocols around, when should you approach, because we want to make sure that, you're not causing more harm or causing people to withdraw more in. So really it's about creating more of an understanding about what's going on. And it's not just self-harming, it's self-harm is really like the people who are trying to cope. They're trying to cope with what's going on, what they're feeling, what they don't understand about, what's going around in the head. So it's a form of relief, escapism. It's a way to present the physical manifestation of pain, helps them to manifest what they're thinking and feeling, which you can't readily see. It's also it's a way of avoiding looking at suicide. It's a way of them to feel something, but also there's other things like self-hatred and all of that. So what we're looking for in this program is to gain a greater understanding. So when you're kind of checking in your mate, you're kind of coming from a more level of knowledge and giving you some tools and understanding. So looking at what are symptoms, because they're not always physical. Some of them might be people being in abusive relationships. Some of them might be somebody getting into fights. It's not always just the cutting or the hair pulling, which are a lot of the physical. Some of them are how self-abusing emotionally. So once we kind of have a greater understanding, then it's giving some tools. There is a time when people don't need you to step in and tell them what to do. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do is to listen, and to listen deeply without the intent to reply. So you're basically holding the space for your mates. And then as a friend, or an observer of what's going on, it's really looking at when is it time that you really need to seek some adult or some professional help. And then the whole thing of confidentiality comes in as well. So this program is designed to educate people more, to look at ways and tools that you can have a greater understanding yourself and how to approach it as well. So without getting into too much detail, it's a time I believe, and the Wellbeing Foundation has been set up to address a lot of these things. Let's stop being the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff and then having to deal with the aftermath of overdoses, people ending up in hospital from self-harm, the suicide. Let's get to the top of the cliff. Let's get even well before that, before people are wanting to self-harm. Let's get educated and let us together, really address this. And we're here, a lot of us have gone through it ourselves or were involved with youth groups and programs. Some of our people are professional addiction and alcohol counsellors. So we do have a lot of knowledge, and we do work with a lot of other groups and organisations. So we're here to help you, and together we can make a difference. So thank you once again for taking the time to listen, and hope to hear back from you. Thank you.